Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today we are going to take another look at Doron Dororon, Chapter 23. As usual, we will have a short spoiler-free review section at the front, then we will get into the spoiler review. Now, this chapter, I think, illustrates how this particular mangaka, one of the ways this mangaka sets his manga apart from others is that he wastes no time. Now, what do I mean by that? There are certain tropes that show up commonly in any media that deals with human interaction, where you have confrontations and conflict between characters that could easily be avoided by better communication. And I think that one of the points that sets this shonen manga apart from the others is that the characters, for all that they're rough around the edges, have really good communication. They're always talking to each other. We saw it in previous chapters when Scary Eyes Girl and Dora came to their understanding. We saw it when, again and again, in how Dora and Kusanagi interact. They talk to each other, they share things. For the most part, they don't needlessly hide things from each other. And that shows up again in this chapter. There were plenty of chances for the mangaka to take this and to stretch out this story arc with miscommunications, but that is not who Dora and Kusanagi are. They talk to each other, they communicate, they forgive, they move on. And that really, really shows up in this chapter because they had plenty of opportunities for unnecessary extensions of confusion through not communicating, but they don't. And that is something interesting. It does pass on a lot of conflicts that could happen, which I think might be a good sign that the mangaka has a lot of story to tell and doesn't want to waste time on frivolous conflict. But we'll see going forward. Now, we will be getting into the spoilers. To give you a chance to click away and not hear the spoilers, you can go check out the links below the video to check out a copy of my book, Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data. Short stories of human absurdity where a lot of communication happens, but there's still a ton of misunderstanding because aliens. All right, Doron Dororon, Chapter 23. What is going on here? So, classic shonen trope. The character who is under suspicion for either being from the other side or being a threat does something suspicious and sneaking off to meet another suspicious character. Again, classic shonen trope. Now, Kusanagi goes off to meet his friend, who when he had last seen, Kusanagi had been fleeing from. Presumably, given the short time frame here, this was the reason that Kusanagi fled to the human world and moved to the human world. But that they parted on terrible terms with this traitorous friend having eaten their mutual friend. Now this traitorous friend shows up and hits Kusanagi's weak point. Now this is an interesting reveal because it shows a real character flaw, and like most good character flaws, it is the distaff version, the opposite, the other side of the coin of Kusanagi's greatest strength. His virtue and his vice both stem from the same impulse. Kusanagi is too trusting, too forgiving. Kusanagi wants his friends to be good. Kusanagi wants to trust people. Kusanagi wants to trust the samurai. Kusanagi wants to trust this Mononoke. And I think it's very, very interesting that the Mononoke is sitting in a rather human posture, almost as if this Mononoke might be representing the human threat of the samurai group that Dora is also trusting. And then, of course, everything goes wrong. Now, interestingly enough, the mangaka decides to take, I don't know if it's a shortcut, given how keen we've seen that Crazy-Eyed Girl's senses are. She knows when Kusanagi sneaks off. So it does seem to be a logical flow of the story. But again, there could have been an incredible stretching out and expansion of the story needlessly. And I think that's where this story gets some of its good pace from. This mangaka is not wasting our time with random side plots. The girl who's really good at sensing Mononoke energy immediately senses that Kusanagi is missing, and they follow after him and are there to rescue Kusanagi from the threat that he's put himself in through his excess of trust. And so there's a fight. They win, the first round. Then the chapter ends, and we move, and hopefully we'll be able to see the next round next week. Looking forward to that. But again, we have this dynamic between Dora and Kusanagi. They don't just trust each other. They communicate, they talk, they express what they're feeling and thinking. And this allows the story to move forward at a very well-paced clip. We get to see again, this chapter makes a point that Dora is learning to fight with his brain as well as his body. Dora was a brawler when we first met him, and he's having to use his brain to adapt to the situation. It's something he does have a knack for, but that has been left fairly undeveloped. So, what do you think? What do you think of chapter 23? I enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to the next chapter. Remember, as you go forward, that all of my videos are up on BitChute, Rumble, Odysee, and Veoh, where you can find a whole bunch of other fun videos if you're not tuned to the YouTube platform. Hit that like and subscribe button, and peace out, my wonderful viewers. Humans are weird. We took a vote, and humans are weird. I have the data. 2 books in a series of human absurdity. Go check out these short story collections. What will our little green friends think of us when we finally do make it to space? Find out the answer in 2 books of human absurdity. Humans Are Weird, We Took a Vote, and Humans Are Weird, I Have the Data. Available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and Google Play.